Right, welcome back to the channel, and today what I thought I'd do is a follow-up video to the last one I did on parts, how to format parts in Sibelius, how to add the title pages, etc. that we're looking at now. And in this one, we're going to be looking at page turns because Sibelius has some really helpful features that I want to show you that can make your life a whole lot easier, especially if you're writing a massive orchestral piece with lots of parts, or perhaps you're doing an opera or something like that. This technique might well help you out. And I'm also going to show you how to insert special page breaks and what that does, because sometimes that might be exactly what you need to do. Right, so if I just scroll through this, we're still using the same piece. I'm engraving this tune, Nearer My God to Thee, and I've added, just for the sake of this video, in fact if I put it into panorama mode, what I've done, I've just added a load of bars here, and I've just copied and pasted a load of music, so there's a lot going on. And we're just going to be looking at violin 1 today, because the techniques I show you in this video for violin 1 are identical for any other part you want to have a look at, but there's a load of music in that stave. Okay, there's quite a lot. I've added about 500 bars, I think. We won't scroll through the end, but there's about 450 or 432 bars, a fair amount. Now, if I just put it back into page view, I'm going to do something a bit odd now. I'm just going to take some music out. And when I take the music out, I'm going to put some text in, blank or empty, something like that. So when we look at the part, it's obvious where there's empty bars. All right, so I'm just gonna, let's just start with this one, and in here I'm going to put blank. Okay, and then I'm just gonna, I don't know, let's just do something completely random. If I copy and paste that, so we're not here all day, where are we now? If I just do that, and then here I'm going to take 2 bars out, and the last bar I'm going to put that there. I'm going to take that one out. I'm going to take this one out here, and I didn't put that text in at the last bar, did I? That's my bad. Let's go and find it. Where are you? There we are. So we'll stick the text in there. This will become obvious when we look at the part in a minute. Right, I'm just going to take some of these bits out, and I'm going to put some text in there. And now I'm just going to take that. Let's take those 3 bars out, shall we? Let's do that. And in that one there, I'm going to post the text. And then we'll just do one more for measure. Let's just take that one out. Okay, so far so what. I can hear you all scream at the video. Well, I'm just going to put it into parts view, and I can have a look at the part. And as we scroll through this, where I've added the blank text, it will show you where the empty bar is. All right, now we haven't formatted this part yet, nothing's happened to it, so Sibelius is using its default spacing and its default layout that it's interpreting from engraving rules that you can change as much as you like, and we'll be going into that in different videos. But out the bat, it's going to look something like this. It's going to try and space the music out as much as possible, and by default my system gives me warnings if there's difficult page turns, and as is kind of typical, I suppose, for string writing in particular, it's very easy to get carried away. You can write and write and write and write, and there's never any breaks. And I suppose, arguably, especially with strings, if it's a small ensemble or a symphonic size ensemble playing, if the players are sitting at a desk, there's someone to turn the page. Somebody somewhere has got the opportunity to turn the page, and if there's 2 players sharing a music stand, perhaps that's not so bad, you could argue, because one of them will grab the page and turn it as the other one continues the music. It's a faff, it's a hassle, but sometimes, I'm going to put it out there straight away, sometimes a difficult page turn with no break in the music either side of the page turn, and what I'm talking about page turn is a right facing page where you have to turn that page to page 4, is inevitable. You can try your absolute best, But sometimes a difficult page turn is almost impossible to avoid, but there are ways you can mitigate it, okay? And this is what this video is all about. Now, straight away, we've got some blank bars that we could make appear at the end of each stave. Okay, so at the end of the system here, at the last bar. So when it goes, you could argue that at least you have one bar's rest to turn the page over, and most of the time that's acceptable. Unless the music is ridiculously fast, that's possibly the best you can do. Sibelius, however, has a really handy hidden little feature in it that I don't think is really bleated on about enough, because it's a massive time saver. And in this situation, my score's opened up how it may open up for you as well. You've written your music on the full score, as I have done here. You've put the odd break in, the rest, you put the odd rest in occasionally, or bar rest, so you know there's nothing going on the odd empty bar. And when you've opened up your part, it looks a wall of music, which is fine. That's kind of cool. That's what you want. The parts all formatted for you. But I want to show you something now. If you're in the ribbon, if you have to have the part activated, okay. And if you're on the ribbon, perhaps you're like I am on text, or you've added notation or notes in, you want to come across to part and part appearance. And all we're going to do is have a look at the current part, which is violin 1. So I'm going to select that option here. Now, mine's opened up on house style. If it's the very first time you open it up, 99 times out of 100, it's going to open up on document setup. What we want to do in this instance is open up layout, okay? And where it says auto breaks, we want to click that. And it's this part here we want to have a look at, page breaks. Now, it's highly likely, especially if you're new to the software, that this option isn't turned on. You may well have these two first ones ticked in the page breaks section. Use auto page breaks and at final bar lines. But what you also want to tick is at bar rests, okay? And after right hand pages, and after, I don't know, I'm going to set mine to 1, okay? I'm going to reduce the amount of percentage the page must be full for a reason. You're going to see why in a moment. I'm going to take that down to 20% maybe. And I'm simply going to click OK. Boom. And now I'm going to click OK here. Right, let's just see what this has done. My first page, it's moved that empty bar. We didn't know where those bars were. I took the music out the full score, and with that one setting, it's moved that blank bar to the end of the system at the bottom of page 1, a right hand facing page. So we got one blank page. Here, there is no blank bar in that entire page that it could have moved forward. So we still have a page break, we still have a difficult page turn there that we'll look at in a moment. Now you'll notice that we have a blank bar here and a blank couple of bars here. It hasn't done anything with the formatting of those, because it only looks right hand facing pages, okay? And it's automatically set this page up with our 3 empty bars at the bottom of page 5, which is plenty of time to turn over to page 6, where that page is fully formatted, and it's gone over to page 7. So that one tick box can save you an absolute ton of time, because Sibelius is interpreting the placement of an empty bar at the bottom of a right hand facing page within the confines of its engraving rules and your house style that you've set up. Highly recommend you just turn that setting on and play around with it, but you can set it up to however you like. Now, let's have a look at this really difficult page turn. This is something you're going to experience, especially if you're new to Sibelius or any notation program and you're laying out parts in particular. Parts are funny. When you write the full score or the conductor score, if you're anything like me, you tend to think differently. You think about the whole piece as you should. It's the conductor score, you see everything. And when you come and look at the parts, you have to change hats effectively, and you have to think about the music on the part from the player's perspective. Okay, for me anyway, the clarity on a part is all about the player. My involvement is finished with the piece of music I've written. It's the player interpreting it, and the clearer you can make the engraving on the part and the better placement of page turns, the better. Okay, even to the detriment of the amount of pages you add to the part. Now that might sound a bit odd, but let me explain. Just because we have a blank page here, a difficult page turn, okay, doesn't stop us adding stuff to this score that will allow us to reduce the amount of difficult page turns. Now we have a blank bar here, and up here we have a blank bar. Now technically we could move that blank bar down here, okay, and we can do that in a couple of ways. The first way to do it is like this. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to come up top here, I'm going to highlight the bar line at the end of that blank bar, okay. Now I'm going to put a page break in there, and I'm going to use a shortcut, which on my Mac is Command Enter, and it's made a page break at the end of that bar, okay. Now I can rejig the layout just of this page, of this spread of pages, so it makes sense and it makes it easier to read. So to do that, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've got 11 staves there and we've got 2 staves there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select the bottom, that blank bar, and I don't know, let's go across to this bar here. I'm going to hold my shift key down and left click, and it's selected those. And I'm going to come up to layout. There is a keyboard shortcut for this, but I'm going to show you where the option lies. I'm going to move that out of the way, and you want to make that selection into a page. Boom. Now it's separated those two selected bars out, and it's made that all into its own page here. Now I'm going to come across back up to part appearance, the current part, and I'm going to reduce the justification of this stave to 20%. You see what happens here? Boom. It's stretched them out. Now what I could do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I wanted to, I could divide these staves up so there's an equal amount of staves on each bar. To do that, if you wanted to, I don't know, let's just say we're going to select this bar here. I'm going to select that bar line. I'm just going to press enter. Okay, it's split that system, and now I'm going to add, I'm going to do exactly the same, and I'm going to make a page out of that. Okay, so you can gradually move the bars about so the layout is exactly how you like it. Okay, now I'm rushing through this, but when you do your first part, you want to really concentrate, make it look absolutely gorgeous, as nice as you can make it. And then you want to copy that layout to the next instruments next door to it. In this case, it would be violin 2 if needed, because not all instruments are going to have the same music in them. And sometimes you might need to format each part independently. But once you've got the basic layout, it's then just a little bit tweaking. It's not the whole thing all the time. So that's one way you can do it. Now I'm going to undo all of that, and I'm going to show you another way. Right, so we're back to where we were. Here is our empty bar at the beginning, right? Now this time what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a page break, a special page break at the end of this bar. And what that's going to do is going to put a blank page here, and it's going to force this page onto this page. It's going to push everything over a page. And then when we get to this joint, this couple of blank bars here, that's going to end up, we'll format that page so it ends up where these blank pages end up here. Okay, so let's have a look at that. And I'm going to highlight this bar here, and there I'm going to put a special page break in. All right, so come to the layout, special page break. And there's also a shortcut for this too, which is Shift Command Enter on my Mac. It should be Shift Alt Return on your PC, and I'm simply going to do that, and it's going to ask me how many blank pages I want to put in. And in this instance, I want to put in one blank page. Okay, it's put the page in. And now we have a page turn on the right hand side. We'll format this in a minute so it looks a bit better. And we've now got a blank bar at the end of the next right hand page. Okay, and it's kept those blank bars at the end of page 7, another right facing page, and we have the last spread, pages 8 and 9. Okay, so sometimes putting in a blank page that you could then put text on, intentionally left blank to help with page turns or something like that. And then you can spend a moment formatting this page. And here I would probably select this bar here and press return to split that system. And you can keep moving it down. Let's just do that until you get an equal amount of bars. And then if you wanted to, highlight everything, grab the bottom right hand bar and just pull down, and it'll space everything out. So that page is nicely spaced. Now you may or you may not want it to look like that. Okay, formatting of parts, especially if you're making your own little house style, is it's one of the things that I get great pleasure from. I won't lie to you. I can spend absolutely ages getting everything perfect. Okay, but we'd be here 12 years on this video, so I'm just going to bang through it as quick as I can, and then in future videos I'll show really how I drill down and get everything sorted, because when we start looking at the layout and the rulers and everything, you can make sure everything is absolutely bolt straight in line with everything, so when you're sight reading the part, it's clear as mustard what your intention as the composer is. Right, so to put text on this page, if you wanted to, I'm going to click it and I'm going to right click it now. I'm going to come down to text and blank page text, and I'm just going to put some plain text centered on a blank page, left blank for page turns, something like that. I'm going to zoom out of that. That's kind of self-explanatory. We can add more later if we wanted to. So that's that page. That's that page turn there has got rid of that awkward one. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 staves there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So why don't we do something like that and make that a page? Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to highlight those bars. I'm going to hold down Command, Shift and press S, and it's just tweaked those so the spacing is then nicely sorted. We're going to escape out. First view, that doesn't look too bad. We can do a little bit of tweaking to that to make these bars here less congested. We'll come back to that in future videos. Now we'll do the same here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 2. So I'm simply going to select, I don't know, these ones here, and I'm going to make that a page. And I'm going to pull that down a little bit, and these ones here. And then in upcoming videos, we're going to spend a moment making this violin 1 look lovely. So there we go. That's a very quick, I know that's a very quick look at how to do page turns. Perhaps arguably it was a little bit quick, but you've got some really lovely options in Sibelius that help you, especially with right hand page turns. If there's any pauses or empty bars in the full score, it can place those on the bottom right hand facing page of your music. So straight away it starts to think about page turns, which is really, really important. And then If you need to, you can force page breaks as we did with this score, and we can add blank pages to force the music onto the next page to facilitate page turns later on in the piece. So with that in mind, I hope that wasn't too quick. I hope you got some stuff out of it. And if you're stuck on anything, please drop a comment below and I'll get back to you. And hopefully that's helped you get the best out of the settings in Sibelius for page turns. I'll see you again soon for the next one.